All right. Hello and welcome to the next PMQ Live update. Thank you guys so much for joining us previously with when we were talking with Mike Rasmussen. This was our previously scheduled live update with U.S. Pizza team member George Taylor of Taylor's Neighborhood Pizza and Sandwich Shop in Endwell, New York. Say hi to the world there, George.
Hi, world. Hey, pizza aficionados.
Pizza aficionados and sandwich aficionados too. You guys make some good sandwiches.
Sandwich aficionados, fellow business strugglers.
All right. Well, we're giving you guys a couple minutes in here, but this is all going to live on perpetuity on PMQ's Facebook page. I know some of you guys went to the restroom or got back to work in your shop. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to talk with George a little bit. George has a one unit takeout only establishment in Endwell, New York. So I wanted to talk with him a little bit about some of that and some of the adaptations just a one unit place was going to have had to endure. But first off, I want, George Taylor, why don't you just tell him what the first adaptation you had to do when it started hitting you guys in New York, kind of bring us up to speed on what you were doing.
Well, at first, I, like probably a lot of people, just didn't realize the magnitude of what was going to happen coming down the road. And I really didn't think we were going to have to make a lot of changes. I just, thought it was going to be pretty much business as usual. We were on vacation. We went to Columbus, of course, to the competition there, and then went down to visit Joey down in Atlanta, Carvallis, and then went out on a cruise, came back. We were closed for 2.5 weeks and came back to a completely different world. And we realized that, hey, people are a lot more conscious of this than I thought that they would be. And of course, you see the growing numbers. And of course, in, New York City, things got grown up a lot quicker. And so we really decided that we better make some changes ourselves. And one of those, the first thing we did was start doing curbside delivery, taking things out to people's cars, making sure that we're, wearing gloves when we go out there, taking care of our making sure we are keeping our customers safe and our team, of course. We're a small place. I can't afford to have 2 or 3 places be out, or two or three people be out sick, because that's all we've got, So we decided that that was the first thing we needed to do, and then in order to make that situation a little bit more smooth, we upped our timeline for online ordering, and got that process rolling basically in a matter of days after we got back.
Okay, and we'll talk about that.
We wanted to get a system that would, or an online, vendor that was going to integrate with our POS system. And so, we contacted, both of those and went with the two that were going to go together, so that now that when somebody places an order, it prints out right on our ticket line. We don't have to wait for a fax and then re-enter it into the POS or anything like that, which really, it helps speed things up, because we do have other things that slow us down, like, for example, taking the orders out to people's cars. Mm-hmm. The other thing is when people do still call in, we just today, actually, we went to a mandated pay ahead schedule. And we did that because we want our whole process to be completely contact free. We don't want to be touching money. We don't want to be touching customers. We don't want to be getting too close. So the way it works now is that whether you place an order online or whether you do it at the store, we disabled on our online the cash pay availability. So now it's strictly you have to pay in order to be able to use the system. And same thing when somebody calls in, we tell, just say, okay, go ahead with your credit card number when you're ready. And we take their credit card number over the phone, which again takes a little bit more time. So that's why we're trying to streamline things any place else we can.
Okay. Well, that's kind of as contactless as you can be currently without just sliding the pizza out the door. But I mean, we're going to talk a little bit more about the integration that you had to go through as far as your POS and online ordering and stuff like that. I did want to talk a little bit about how you are, you're up 20%, no, not 20%. You're up on average from 2019 over the year, I should say.
Right.
On average, I mean, who knows how much, but I mean, you're not like, I don't want to say super thriving in this era, but you're maintaining.
Right.
And I mean, you probably attribute that to being like, you were already takeout, so you didn't lose your dine-in business. But you were saying that your lunch business has kind of disappeared, and other people there are struggling with that too. I mean, how are you trying to maintain that? Did you close down lunch, or are you still doing it just at a smaller scale?
We're still doing it. We're still doing the lunch because we wanted to maintain those hours, to keep people with the familiarity. Or maybe they're not coming there right now, but they see us open for lunch. So when things do get back to some semblance of normalcy, hopefully they'll be coming back to us. There's a lot of businesses around us, a lot of tech business that people they're working from home now, so they're not in that area right near our shop anymore, where that was a frequent 5 minutes away from where they work. So it's a quick down and grab something to eat, back to work. Now they're not there anymore, so that's something none of us had any control over and nothing you can really do about. But like I said, for the local people around us, we definitely wanted to maintain the hours, keep things functioning as normal as possible, so that when things do get back to the way they were, that people still see us as there as a solid operation will be there for them.
Well, yeah, again, just maintaining a little bit of normalcy. And you were talking about, again, we're going to be talking about integration of some of that technology, some of those people who maybe aren't eating lunch at your place anymore. I did want to acknowledge Mike Doniger for joining again. He's going to be on tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central, talking about some of the stuff you're going to be talking about as far as just staying visual, maintaining positivity and stuff like that. He's going to be talking about best practices for Facebook and getting recognition there. So I just wanted to give him a quick plug for anybody tuning in. But kind of moving on. So you were saying how you had to adapt and add curbside service, and some of the stuff was slowing you down a wee bit. That was the main thing. It's like trying to get the food out there. Did you do any kind of adaptation on, anything to speed up the processes? I mean, how did you deal with that?
Well, originally what we did was, again, trying to get people as much as possible to use the online ordering. That way, we're not sitting there talking to them on the phone. We're not taking down card numbers. We're not, doing those kind of things that, take time. Now, I originally, when I think about a week ago, we went and I got a mobile swiper so that we could just run out to the car, so we, that would streamline the things from taking the orders over the phone, or taking the numbers over the phone and dealing with that. However, just with the advent of how things are progressing, we decided to go completely contact-free. And so today we made the choice to make it mandatory that the orders are paid for before they come. And what that entails is, of course, we're trying to, as much as possible, get them to use our online platform. Mm-hmm. And then if they're still, we have a lot of older customers that just don't feel comfortable doing that, and they got to, give us a call, and we've got to go through the process of reading the card over the phone, because we decided we didn't want to have that touch pad in other people's hands, and then back in our hands, and then back into somebody else. Even though we were sanitizing it in between uses and whatever, we just wanted to take that completely out of the process. And so, going completely contact free. We put it in the person's back seat of their car, or sometimes their trunk or passenger, as long as there's no other people in the car, and just we're staying away from them. And everybody seems to appreciate it. The tipping has been a lot better from people, of course, because I think they realize what's going on, and it's I've heard that from a lot of other operators too, that people are really trying to help people out, and that's we appreciate that. And I just want to give you another little bit of context too. That I said that we're up 20% this year and everything like that. Well, last year, the whole year, 2018 to 2019, we were up over 60%.
Okay.
And we are continuing that trend at the beginning of this year as we are going on. We were up, in the 60% range before we decided to go on vacation. And then, it's dropped down to 20%, which is, anybody would be happy to have a 20% increase, but to us, we're looking at it like, hey, this is really kind of slowing down our train a little bit.
Yeah, that's a 40% loss for you, but I mean, still, and it's not like it's 20% every single day consistent. It's on average, but like you were saying, I mean, you were affected differently because you didn't actually even have the dine-in aspect of it. But I mean, this actually poses some other issues. I mean, as far as like, were there any menu changes you had to make, or did you stop ordering things because you weren't selling them as quick? I mean, did you have to do any adaptation that way?
Well, it's like I had mentioned when Lars was on, and I had asked him because I noticed a big change in what people were ordering as far as their pizzas. We're selling. I mean, always your pepperoni and your cheese are your best sellers, but it really seems that that's really where they're going now. I mean, we are selling a lot less of our specialty pizzas and a lot more of the plain pizzas. Mm-hmm. So that is one of the changes that we noticed. People are really just doing it to feed their kids that are home all day. It's more of a necessity than a luxury.
Right.
Another thing that
versus
we did,
luxury. So again, you're not selling a lot of these sunshine pies that much anymore right here, no?
Yeah, no. It's still in the experimental phases. We're working on it, kind of inspired by Chris Decker's Stella Pizza there. So, yep. And I saw you did that. You did that one time on one of your PMQ videos. Yeah. And so I was kind of playing around with that kind of thing. And that eventually will make its way onto the regular menu. But I mean, kind of put adding too much stuff on hold right now, because that's just not what people's focus is on.
So, when you saw that people were ordering just out of necessity versus, gourmet, you kind of took some of the things off your order sheet and so save money on that?
Well, what we did was it was actually more of we decided to take off our entire fried section, because our fryer and grill and stuff like that is in a kind of like a back room. When you look at our building there, you can see it's a long, narrow building, and it's really in two parts. The front part, which starts out with our counter right in the front, and then has most of our, has our pizza making and sandwich making stuff right there. And then there's a back room, which has, the dishwashing area off the left out of sight, and then it has a fryer and grill. But it's running, 20 steps. You kind of see there in the picture, you can kind of see the two different parts of the building. The back part where that second light is back there. Yeah. So that's where the fryer is clear back there. And so we decided, that instead of running back there to drop fried goods all the time, we just had to take that out. We needed to save those steps and keep everybody up in the front, so that, because again, we've got people running out to cars and, going the completely opposite direction. And that just, makes it way too many steps. And not that I couldn't use a few extra steps a day, but the reality is operationally, it just wasn't the right thing to keep doing, especially when we had to add this extra element to our business.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, the freshness and the time counts, and especially, did you lose a lot of employees, or were you able to maintain everybody who was currently working there?
We kept everybody that's been here. We only have 3 employees right now, plus my wife and myself. There's 5 of us there all together. We had originally slated to hire 2 more people when we got back from vacation. That was before all this craziness started taking hold. This is where we really start, our business really starts ramping up and taking off, once the weather starts to break. We were expecting, like I said, being, 50, 60% increases over last year going into this next couple of months here. And so only being up 20 cents, again, like I said, I don't want to sound complaining that I'm only up 20%, but right. when you're up, steadily for an entire year going up 60%, now all of a sudden you're down to 20, it kind of feels like you're slowing down. And
again, the math, that's a 40% loss, man. So it is.
Yeah. That's what it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I wanted to acknowledge Carmelo again. He joined for both. And he says he's kind of a jealous about your problem, but it's, hang in there, Carmelo. I want to thank you for tuning in every day. I hope you're getting some useful information.
Yes,
But he says,
Carmelo,
they'll be sit there for a few hours and then get a quick hit. But I know you're asking some good questions and getting some good information out of these guys. So I wanted to, we were talking about how the lunch business disappeared. I mean, there were some people locally down there. I'm sorry, I think my cats are banging at the door. But some people around you kind of actually shut down. Now, did they shut down just for the temporary wise?
It's the work from home order in New York State. People like any of the factories and the tech places. They were mandated to by the state government to. At first, it was decrease your staff by 50%, and then it was work from home, don't be there. So we're under orders now. It's basically a shutdown. Any non-essential business is not to be there, which it's kind of a drag for certain things like our printer, for example, where we get our menus. I'm almost out of menus, and I can't get any new ones until this is all over. So, of course, the bright side of that is I don't have anybody coming in to take them off the counter either. So, but once in a while, somebody will be out the probably, hey, can I get a new menu or whatnot? And that makes it something we can't make the adjustments, can't do anything like that. But we always keep the website updated. So we tell people go to our website taylorspizza.com and get the menu off there if they need it. And but little things like that. Again, they were also one of our lunch customers, the printers. So they were coming down for lunch a couple of times a week. And now without people like that around, it does slow that down.
Well, had you thought about? Trying to find an interim printer? Something. I mean, have you done any research on that? Eventually you go back to your.
I kind of lost your audio a little bit, Brian.
Sorry, hear me now?
I can't hear you as good for some reason.
Well, had you thought about getting another printer just in the interim?
Well, again, it's we try to use local people and because I can. It's a block away from me. And I can go down there, give them what I need, and they get it done almost immediately for me. I, email them a proof the night before or something like that, and they've got it by 11 o'clock for me the next day to pick up. Or they'll order lunch and they'll drop them off to me as they're eating lunch. So I don't know. I really don't want to use. It's not like we're not getting full color menus or anything like that. It's just these. Like this, it's a 11 by 17, takeout menu, black and white. So I don't know if you can see this or not. I can't see me right now, but
hold it up again.
That's what this is right here. Just just a basic paper menu on 11 by 17, and knock them out quick, get them done.
All right. Well, there was one thing, I'm always asking people, what keeps them up at night. And you were saying what keeps you up at night is people changing habits. And I think you touched on this earlier that when people are changing their habits, you're trying to change them towards coming to you, but you're also scared of people changing habits and going away from you. What are you doing to kind of keep people involved and keep those habits from changing?
Well, the first and foremost is keeping our as much normalcy as we can by keeping our regular hours. We haven't closed early. A lot of businesses, the Home Depots and the grocery stores, and like Home Depot by us is only open till 6 o'clock now. Instead of 10 o'clock at night, they're closing at 6. They're only 8 to 6 on the weekends and 6 to 6 during the week. You got the grocery stores, which are closing anywhere from 8 to 10 o'clock at night, depending on where they're located. And so we really didn't want to get into that. We thought about it and said, I can't justify it because our sales are still up. I can't say, well, hey, we're losing this, losing money here somewhere, because we're not. Everything as far as the numbers are concerned are fine. So I want to keep things as normal as we can. Other than delivering it out to people's cars, we're trying to be business as usual, so that along with our regular social media, we're constantly doing videos. Me, of course, but keeping that, it's just the only thing is that we've changed what our message is. The message before all this was always about feature products, about our feature pizzas, which we have, like kind of a cult following. And we did post that one last night. My wife wanted to post our dessert pizza that they had, and we sold out of it in about 20 minutes. And I didn't have enough stuff prepared, I guess. So we didn't realize how many people were going to come out and grab that. That's our new s'mores pizza. Pretty simple thing. It's just a pizza crust with Nutella and marshmallows, and then we put graham crackers and a chocolate sauce on it afterwards. And man, people are loving it. So, well, and that's been a big hit on social media as well.
Well, and that's like another thing you're saying.
Most of the messages have really been about some of the, about the changes that we've been making, like getting people to realize that, you got to pay ahead, and that we're going to be delivering it to your car. We're not going to be touching you or breathing on you or sneezing on you or anything else. And just want people to know that they're going to have a safe experience when they come there right now. I'm hoping that this thing doesn't last, months and months before we get back to, being able to do things regularly. But if we go, I think in the next couple of weeks, when people are a little bit more, I guess, familiar with what's going on, both operationally with us and hopefully with where everything is going in our state, hopefully we can get back to promoting our products and what we're doing and telling the story about why we're, the place to come and get your pizza and sandwiches rather than talking about safety.
Well, and here's the other thing I wanted to ask, and you can put your ear up to the phone. You're talking about portraying normalcy, but they're like your top 5 videos here are messages that you're giving to people. Does that take away from the normalcy, or are you finding people really like that?
Yeah, I mean, they really do. I mean, I've had a lot of people comment on it. And, when they come and see us, there's a lot of people that, that appreciate what we're doing. A lot of people like the videos. When I do some of the other older videos before we got into this, I try to, put in some kind of humor of it. And I haven't really figured out how to cross that line right now with being able to make something entertaining. I guess personally, I find it hard to make it appropriate talking about a subject that's killing people. And, it's, maybe when it's all over, we can, talk about it in a little bit lighter way. But right now I guess it just feels inappropriate to try to be too funny. Maybe I'm wrong with that, but I want to be positive, and I want to keep, like I said, a positive note and say, hey, you know what? We're not all sick. We're hopefully not going to get all sick, but we do have to take this seriously and maintain our distance from each other until such time that it can be at least treated, or the hospitals aren't going to be overwhelmed when we get it at the same time. And we just got to be safe, and because we all got to get through this. We're all going through it right now. This is something that none of us, pretty much nobody living right now has gone through this kind of thing before. And there's probably a couple of old timers, probably a couple of people that were 2 years old and during the 1918, flu there that killed a lot of people. But for the most part, by and large, none of us have dealt with anything like this before. And not just because of the sickness, but because of the economic challenges that it's proposing.
Yeah. Well, and I think I absolutely agree with you. It's not a laughing matter yet. So there's not a whole lot of opportunity for us to make these super entertaining videos. Some people might be able to skirt that line and do it, but most people probably will fall down face first and actually hurt their business. So I think that's a good tip, is to keep it professional when you're giving out messages, be informative. But then also put up posts like you were doing, where you put up that s'mores pizza and it sold out in 20 minutes. Also interject that normalcy too, while giving serious messages, but not poking fun at your situation right now.
Right.
Keep your normal posts normal, and your situation posts informative and professional.
I saw somebody, and I won't mention any names, but one of the competitors that I met at one of our things, I think it was in Beltsville there. He's not a U.S. Pizza Team member, but just one of the guys that was competing there. And I follow him and talk to him regularly. And he did something like that. He tried to be funny on one of his early videos, and he took a beating for it, but from his customers. I will never come there again. This is not a laughing matter, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they really crucified him. The next day he got on, apologized, said, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that this was, and maybe where he is, it hadn't caught up yet and everything like that. But I realized that, from watching what happened to him, that was not going to be the right thing to do, so.
Okay.
Lesson
well, and that's
learned,
good.
Through somebody else.
Well, yeah, and like you were saying, it wasn't necessarily out of any kind of malice. He was trying to find out the best way to reach people, and it just didn't kind of work. Sometimes it's done with the best intentions. So
exactly.
All right. Well, let's get on to. I wanted to get on our last two subjects real quick. It's last one subject, but it's you were takeout only. You were incorporating online ordering, well, a POS, and I don't mind mentioning these, the names of them, but this is not in any way a commercial for them. But I've been getting a lot of emails from one of these places, Point of Success, and so this is a company that you've kind of integrated into your business, right? This was the POS that you did.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell me, because you had to integrate, you got this so you could integrate your online ordering platform, right?
Right. Yep.
Right. So go ahead and tell us about that.
We've been using Point of Success ever since I started using them in 2007 with our old pizzeria back when we had a place called Fresh Out Pizza in Johnson City, New York. And we started using them when my previous POS system took a dump. And, my hard drive actually went bad, and I ended up having to get new computers, and the old software wasn't supporting their software anymore, and they would not, give me any kind of break on the new version of anything. And I called these guys, and they got me up and running within hours, got me downloaded a thing, got me started on how to make, how to do the menu, how to put the menu in. And everything is really easy to use. It's very super intuitive, and it is just, and the people there are, pretty helpful. And also, like any POS company, there's going to be things you don't like about it and things that you do. I mean, I haven't heard it too many people that just love every single thing about their POS company. But these guys, they do a pretty good job. I was, I can get through and talk to them if I need to, get something. They always, they have to call you back, whatever, because they're busy. But I've found that they get my questions answered, get the things settled that I need to take care of. And then, like I said, we integrated it with Big Holler, which is who they had already had a platform with, so that we could use it. And same thing, they've been very good, especially through this situation, getting emails right back to me, getting any updates that I did. Part of this, taking things off of our menu that we did, we took all of our fried stuff off and changed all our, chicken sandwiches from fried chicken to grilled chicken. I had to have that stuff all changed on my online menu ordering system. They got it done, right away, even though it's like I felt like I was emailing them every 20 minutes with new changes, but they kept up with me and got everything dealt with. And it just really was very pleasant experience dealing with them. I didn't have any major hassles. I didn't have any hassles, not major or minor. I didn't really have any hassles with them, with any of it. So it was definitely, I would recommend going with either of those companies to deal with from that from a service standpoint.
All right. So now they've gotten their unpaid PSA. You guys are welcome. I expect my check in the mail. I might give George 10%. I might not. But this was more about, did you find that these companies were offering support, like discounted prices? Was it, because I think you said you integrated your new POS system before this all happened. Have you reached back out to them and said, hey, look, in these times, because I know they were reaching out in emails and they were doing discounts. This is what I'm trying to find is that you let people know that there are places out there that you can start getting this stuff. They're trying to help you. They want to keep your business afterwards, but it kind of gives you negotiating power on the back end if you get it.
Well, here's the thing, because I was a POS user for Point of Success anyway, and they gave me the upgrade to the new system and everything like that for $299. I mean, how much better can you get, for crying out loud, No. And their software, I think normally is only like $4.99 or $5.99 for their premium version. You got people out there. Now you got to buy your own computers. So I went over to Best Buy and I spent $500 a piece for two touch screen systems. So it's all fully integrated touch screen, yada yada. And a new printer, I spent like $1,100 total. Then plus you spend a couple $100 on your software. I got less than $2,000 in the system, and you got people out there spending $20,000 and a lot less happy with their systems than what I've got. Okay. So from a price point standpoint, I don't think I would beat them up too much, being that they're pretty fair to begin with. No. However, what I did notice, I believe I got an email from Point of Success and saying that they were doing through this Corona stuff that they're doing, that they wanted to help out any way they could, and we're doing. I think they're doing no charge technical support during this time in case anybody had any problems. And normally it's you can pay by the year or pay, per call. And I think they were doing basically hey, we're here when you need us. We know you're already struggling, so give us a call. We won't charge you. And so that's what I think, stuff like some of those businesses are doing. Yeah,
it sounds like it. And this is more about that. Sounds like your biggest transition in your whole thing. And it sounds like a lot of people are going to have to be doing this in the future to adapt. So there are places out there. Again, it's just about doing the due diligence, do your homework, call them up, ask what they're offering, and then counterpoint them and see what they can do. Because like the cable company, sometimes they're only giving you the third best offer. So that also goes along because with these now you had to start ordering third party delivery, and of course some of the big names. It's like the mom and pop pizzerias fighting the big chains. You suggest like local third parties? You had to integrate something locally there.
Yeah, we went with a local guy. Again, it's just like anything else. Anything that you outsource or not outsource, but just like somebody like Lars, who's getting all of his products in California. It's about keeping it local and helping other small businesses like you survive and thrive in your area, because that money is going to help support people in your area versus money that's going away to Grubhub or Bingham or Uber Eats or any of these guys. That money's not staying local. It's going someplace else, and you're not supporting it. I mean, sure, you might be giving a few local guys a job, but that's it. You're not helping support a local company, and that's really what I know a lot. That's a movement that a lot more people are getting involved in, and that's something that we definitely intend to drift in that direction. We had a lot of plans for this year to make a few changes like that, and just some of those things just had to get put on the back burner for right now. We just gotta get through it before we can really start changing our story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, no, absolutely. It's this is an ever-changing time, and we have to adapt with it or get left behind. And what I'm hoping is there's going to be some adaptations you have to do, but when it goes back to normal, maybe you keep them. Like I assume you're going to keep your online ordering platform.
Maybe we're going to keep the online ordering. We're going to keep our, as long as the third-party delivery keeps bringing us customers, then that, because that's, delivery customer is typically not the same customer as the guy that's going to come down every week. Maybe once in a while, one of our customers that picks up regularly is going to call and have it delivered because they don't want to come out that day or whatever. But by and large, that's their responsibility to advertise it. And I don't promote for them. They've got to promote for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, like I said, it's one of those things where hopefully people keep it. It might force us into doing something we weren't doing but wanted to. Again, a silver lining. Some of these things could only help your business when it goes back to normal and you guys are overwhelmed with orders. So, George, thank you so much for your time on all of this. Is there one other final positive message you want to give to the pizza guys out there, or one final tip, maybe something we didn't discuss that you're doing that you think people could benefit from?
Well, just stay positive, I mean, because we are all going to get through this, and I'm not promising that you're going to that you're going to come out of this smelling like roses or anything like that. But I'm saying, you're going to get through it. We're all going to get through it. Stay positive. Listen to your fellow pizza guys. We're all cheering each other on. We all are in this together. We are going to get through it. We are going to, see good times again. And it's just something that we got to deal with now, but it's going to get better, and we're going to be there for it in the long run.
Absolutely. And again, keep tuning into PMQ's Facebook page, pmq.com, for stories on the situation, how other people are dealing with it. Again, I try not to mention it by name, but, we're trying to keep up on that. Keep tuning in every day to these PMQ live updates with great guys like George and other US Pizza team members and other people from the industry, as well as Mike Rasmussen's. It's still going to be PMQ update, but it's going to be a daily thing where he's going to be walking us through all the tax changes and benefits that you can get and sign up for in this time, SBA loans, unemployment, and things like that. That's usually at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll have another one tomorrow where he usually answers questions that he didn't have answers for the day before. He stays up all night, finds them out, and then he answers them there. And all this information is still at pmq.com/coronavirus. I know I said I hate mentioning it, but that's the name. I didn't choose the name. But I did want to say again that we will be talking with Mike Donaker tomorrow, he works for Dunja Chat Experts. Excuse me, Dan Uccello, who was our very first PMQ live update interviewee, actually uses their service. But he's going to be coming on and kind of telling us some of the best practices to get your full reach from Facebook without actually really having to pay for it. So they have kind of all the best practices that you can do to as far as what kind of pictures you take and so on and so forth. I don't want to ruin it all. But that's 2 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. I wanted to say thank you again, George. How can people find you on your social medias? Or if they want to reach out and just kind of ask you a question maybe.
Yeah, you can reach me on social media. Just, find me on Facebook, George Taylor. And then find us on Facebook, Taylor's Neighborhood Pizza and Sandwich Shop. It's a long one, but it's there. And so once you start typing it in, it's going to autofill it because we're the only one that gets that long. But you can always email me at george@taylorspizza.com. And of course on Messenger as well, through Facebook Messenger, through my Facebook, you can reach me. And anytime, any questions, I'll be happy to help you out as best I can.
All right, George. Well, I do appreciate your time today. I want to make sure Laura Beth McDaniel comes in, Laura Beth McDaniel Ferguson, I'm sorry, she says she loves the pizza and she's praying for us all. So thank you for tuning in, Laura Beth. We do appreciate it. Tell your friends, we're here usually about 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. George is always chiming in. He's got a lot of good things to say, contribute. So again, thanks everybody for your time. Thank you very much, George. On behalf of the US Pizza Team, PMQ Pizza Magazine, Taylor's Neighborhood Pizza and Sandwich Shop. It is a long one. We thank you all. Everybody stay safe and stay sane. Thanks, George.
Man. Take care.